Hi and welcome to my channel Rituals Herb. If you've joined me for part 1 and 2 of Beginner's Yoga, welcome back. And if this is your first time, then welcome. Let's get into it by grounding down for our sit bones, placing the palms on the knees, either palms facing up or palms facing down, closing down the eyes and just breathing. Inhale through the nostril and exhale through the nostrils. Inhale through the nostril and exhale through the nostril. And just opening up the eyes now, taking the left ear over to the left shoulder, and then taking the right ear over to the right shoulder, back over to the left side, just rolling out any cricks in the neck, taking that right ear over to the right shoulder, and then taking it all the way round and back over, taking the head back, head forward, taking the head back one last time and just taking it to center. Now taking that left ear to left shoulder, taking the head all the way back, rolling it all the way around. Try and inhale on the forward and exhale as you roll the head back. And just coming back to center. Let's shake our wrists. Let's get lots of energy into the wrists and arms. Warming up the wrists for later in the practice, getting some arm rolls in there, rolling the shoulders back and then forward, raising the arms up to the sky, interlacing the fingers for Kale Mudra, gaze up to the fingertips, slight bend in the back. Take the arms down to the mat and coming over gently into a tabletop position. We've got our wrists directly under the shoulders, our knees under our hips, and we've got a flat back. We're going to take our right leg up behind us, hold, and then we're going to take it in and take it back out. Inhale in, exhale out, rolling around the ankle, right and then left. Onto the other side now. Just reposition the spine. Take the left leg out, hold, and then take the knee in. Take the left leg out, take the knee in. Left leg out and take the knee in. Take it out and hold. And then just rolling around the ankle. Take it back in. Some cat-cows. Inhale and exhale. Gaze between the knees. Inhale, we're going to roll up through the spine, gaze up to the sky. Exhale, rolling the spine back round. Inhale, gaze up to the sky. Exhale. We're just going to take our hands to the mat and push up for our first downward facing dog. Pushing into the mat with our fingertips, shoulders back, gaze through our ankles, imagining that string in the base of our spine, pulling our hips up to the sky. Walking the feet up to the hands. We're going to massage our wrists, so we're going to slide our hands underneath our feet and just give the wrists a gentle massage. Just being very careful not to put too much pressure on. Just a little bit. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Taking a slight bend in the knees, we're going to push it through the soles of the feet and rolling up through the spine. Head is the last thing to come up. Inhale the arms up to the sky. Kale Mudra with our fingers. Gazing up to the fingers and hands by our sides for Tadasana. Just grounding down through the soles of the feet. Again, inhale the hands up to the sky. Forward fold, Uttanasana. Option to take a bend in the knees there. Stepping the left leg back and coming to our left knee. We're going to inhale our hands to the sky, Kale Mudra. Taking the arms back and framing that right foot. We're going to take it back into downward facing dog. So a little variation on previous sun salutations that we've done today. This is a classic sun salutation. Stepping that right leg forward left leg down on the mat. Inhale the arms up to the sky, gaze up to the fingertips, framing that right foot without hands, coming to step to the front of the mat, forward fold, having a little rock from side to side, taking a bend in the legs and rolling up through the spine, coming up to Tadasana, rolling the shoulders back, grounding through all four corners of the feet. Inhale, arms up to the sky, gaze up to the fingers. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, sending that left leg back. Inhale inhale our arms up to the sky, Kali Mudra. Gaze up to the hands, framing that right foot and taking it back into downward facing dog. This is our puppy Pasha, who's intrigued in a downward facing dog. And taking that left foot forward, raising the arms up to the sky, Kali Mudra, gaze up to the hands, framing that left foot and bringing the right foot to meet the left at the top of the mat. Inhale, flat back, forward fold. Bending the knees and pushing up through the soles of the feet, rolling the spine up slowly, head being the last thing to come up to the mat. Shrugging the shoulders back, grounding down through all four corners of the feet, feeling the support of the mat underneath your feet. Take that left foot back. We're going to take it to a high lunge. Take the arms up to the sky again. Sink down into the hips. Lift and sink. Lift and sink down into the hips. Taking that left foot out towards the corner of the mat, pointing that left toe towards the corner of the mat. We're going to take it into a warrior one, and we're going to fold forward, interlacing the fingers behind the back and taking the hands over the arms. This is our humble warrior, grounding down in both feet, being really strong in that right leg, and taking some deep breaths here, feeling the lovely stretch through the arms and the top of the back. Leading with the arms, take it back up to a standing position and revolve that back foot into a warrior two. Sweeping out the arms nice and straight, taking the weight over into that right foot with a little bit of lift, and then sinking down into that right side again. Lift, sink deeper, gaze onto the middle finger of the front hand at all times for warrior two, grounding down in the back of that left, in the side of that left foot. We're going to float our warrior, straighten that right leg, and then bend the leg right down, straighten that right leg, taking it down into warrior two. Windmill the arms and framing that right foot. We're going to take the right foot to the back of the mat and take it over into your version of plank on your knees or high plank, lowering it down into upward facing dog or cobra, pushing up through the hands, placing the feet on the mat and finding stillness in your downward facing dog. Ooh, another puppy come to join us. Gripping the mat with your hands, rolling the shoulders back. Imagining that piece of string in the bottom of the spine, pulling your hips up to the sky. Maybe coming to find stillness in your downward facing dog. Taking that left foot forward for a high lunge, sweeping the arms up to the sky, making that Kali Mudra with our fingers. Raise and lower down into the hips. Raise and sink deeper into the hips, being very strong in that left thigh. Now taking the right foot a little bit further in and taking that right big toe to the corner of the right mat, interlacing the fingers and taking the chest down towards the left thigh, taking those arms out over the head, feeling that lovely stretch in this humble warrior position, breathing deeply into the belly, stabilizing through the legs and the feet, and raising back up to standing position, leading with the hands. We're going to revolve it round into warrior two. Arms very straight, shoulders back. You might want to heel toe your back foot back to the mat a few steps, opening out the palms up to the skies and gazing into the middle finger of that front hand. Leaning into your warrior two and raising it. Leaning into the warrior two and raising it to float the warrior. Leaning into the warrior two, remaining very stable in both of the feet. This is the strong foundations for your warrior two. Windmill the hands over to the left foot and frame the foot to a downward facing dog. Coming over into your version of plank, high plank or plank on your knees. Take it down to upward facing dog or cobra. Push up through the hands and tuck the feet to downward facing dog. Either finding stillness in your dog or maybe pedaling out your dog, left and right. Walking the feet to the middle of the mat and then taking a seat on the mat. We're going to move into our floor postures now. So we're going to take, first of all, a boat pose. So put the feet flat on the mat, roll the shoulders back, take the arms forward, palms of the hand facing up to the sky. Everyone settled here. We're going to lower down for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 4, 3, 2, 1. And we're going to release it down to the ground and rest. Breathing into the belly. Just coming back to a natural breath. And then we're just going to slowly roll back up, back into boat pose. Feet flat on the ground. Taking a slight wriggle in the shoulders. Arms out in front, palms facing up. We're going to take it back. And hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take it back for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And take it down for 5. And then release. If you've joined me in the other two parts of the beginner series and you've done a few boat poses, then you should start to feel some abdominal strengthening. Rolling the shoulders back, let's take it back again. We're going to lift, option to raise the legs with a bend or option to straighten the legs. I'm going to take a bend and I'm going to release it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then I'm going to relax. Coming back to the normal breath. Feeling that fire you've created in your abdomen. Bringing the heels in a little bit towards the bum and maybe shuffling down your mat a bit more. Grounding the feet into the mat. Grounding down the lower spine into the mat. I want you to imagine the lower spine in the mat and then raise it up to the sky. Shuffling the shoulders in under the mat. Pressing down into the shoulders and lifting the hips up to the sky, squeezing the glutes in together. Your fingers are interlaced. Holding here and breathing in your bridge pose. Unshimmying the shoulders out and peeling the spine from the top to the bottom down to the mat. And just come into a natural breath. Back bends are really important in yoga as a counter stretch. From all the forward folds you've done, all the strengthening in your back. And we're going to peel up the spine again from the base of the spine to the top of the back, shimmying the shoulders in and interlacing the fingers together. Staying strong in that bridge, really hug the glutes in together, hug the abdomen in, hug the thighs. And untake the shoulders out and roll the spine down to the ground. And just come into your natural breath. Come into a seated position from our bridge. We're just going to shuffle the bum back a little bit. Place the hands on the ground, fingers facing towards the bum, legs flat on the ground. We're going to take a reverse plank, so we're going to take our hips up to the sky. Sending the hips and the chest up to the sky, gaze up, and then lower down onto the ground. Maybe shaking out the wrists, shaking out the legs. Shake, shake, shake. Placing the hands back on the ground, lifting the hips up to the sky. Really squeezing in the glutes and the upper thighs together, building strength here, and lower down to the ground. Having a little shake out again of the legs. Got some bugs on me today. We're going to take our feet to the outside of the mat, or to the line of the outside of the mat. Hands on the floor. We're going to take our legs and gaze over to the left, legs to the middle, legs to the right, to the middle, over to the left, over to the right, back over to the left. We're just making our hips move in a little rotation manner here. I've got so many bugs around me today, which is why I'm scratching all the time. Taking it over onto our knees now for a tabletop position. We're going to take our right knee over to our right elbow for pigeon pose, making sure our foot is flat onto the mat, knee straight, hugging in that left glute, and breathing here, taking any adjustments you need to. The right foot doesn't need to be near the left wrist, just anywhere in front of that left hip is perfect. Taking it down onto the arms if you like a little bit more depth to the stretch, and taking the forehead to the backs of the arms for even deeper stretch, and breathing here. Finding stillness in your pigeon and visualizing sending new breaths to the part of your body that needs it most right now in this pigeon position. And taking that right leg back, coming to tabletop, taking it back into a wide-legged child's pose. Take the knees to the outside of the mat, maybe taking a block to rest your head on in this child's pose, and just observing the difference from your right to your left. Now you've just stretched out your right side. How does your left feel? Does it need a stretch? I think so. Let's come up from our child's position and let's put our hands onto the ground for tabletop. Take that left knee to left wrist, left foot somewhere in front of that right hip, making sure the back of the top of the right foot even is flat onto the mat. That right leg is straight, raising the chest up to the sky a little bit, and just feeling this stretch here. Coming down onto the arms for a more depth in your stretch. And taking it down, forehead on the backs of the hands. Finding stillness in your pigeon, focusing on your breath, focusing on the inhales, and coming up onto the hands, and just coming to sit onto your bum, spinning to the front of your mat. Taking that right knee on the outside of the knee flat on the ground, and taking that left leg somewhere over to the other side of that right knee. It could be just in front of the knee, It could be right over to the other side like I have mine. Wherever feels comfortable for you, take that left arm behind you and bend that right elbow into the left knee. Inhale and exhale, twist deep around into the twist. Inhale and exhale to twist deeper. Gaze should be over the shoulder to the back of the room. And just take a little counter stretch over to the right side. And we're going to go on to the other side now. So taking that outside of the left leg onto the mat, taking that right leg over, taking over to wherever feels comfortable for you, taking that right arm towards the back, and taking that bent left arm onto the outside of the right knee. Again, inhale for lift and exhale. Inhale for lift and exhale to sink a little deeper. Another puppy to come join us. Staying in your twist and then coming out and having a counter twist towards the other side. We're going to take it down onto the mat now. Just coming to lay down on the mat, raising the legs up to the sky for waterfall, placing the palms onto the ground and just raising the legs. This is an inversion. Inversions are very good for blood pressure control, and also if you have period cramps, that's a really nice position to be in as well. Taking that right foot to the left knee now and hugging in the left knee towards the body. Inhale in for lift and exhale in, pulling it in closer to the stomach and release. Taking that left foot over to the right knee and hugging in the right knee towards the stomach. Again, inhaling for a little lift and exhaling, pulling that knee closer into the stomach. Just feeling that lovely stretch on the outside of the thighs. And we're going to come to a laid position. Breathing into the belly. This is our Savasana pose, which ends the class. Just grounding down through the shoulders into the mat and breathing. Just coming to find stillness after your yoga class today. I recommend that if you have the opportunity to stay in for Savasana as long as you like, and if not, roll up slowly to a seated position. As you can see, all of our dogs have come into the frame now. Come to say goodbye. Thank you for practicing with me today. See you next time on Rituals Hub.